The Disappearance. It was a crisp autumn morning in the city of Whitebridge, a place where people knew each other by name and gossip travelled faster than the wind. The town was peaceful, with neatly trimmed hedges, friendly neighbours, and a quiet sense of order. That is, until one day when John Mather, the wealthiest and most influential businessman in the city, vanished without a trace. John was a man of routine. Every morning he left his luxurious home at exactly 7 a.m., driving his sleek black car to his office downtown. His work was his life. He built his wealth from nothing, starting as a humble real estate agent before creating an empire of properties and businesses. To everyone in Whitebridge, John Mather was a symbol of success, a man who had it all: a grand mansion, a beautiful wife, and a successful company. But on the morning of his disappearance, something unusual happened. His wife, Evelyn, woke up to find John's side of the bed empty. At first, she didn't think much of it. Maybe he had left early for a meeting, she thought. But when she received no text or call from him all day, she began to worry. By the time night fell and John still hadn't returned home, Evelyn's worry turned to fear. She called the police. But given John's powerful status in the community, they handled the case delicately. At first, they suggested that perhaps he had left for some impromptu business trip or needed a break. But Evelyn knew better. John never left without telling her. The idea of him vanishing without a word was completely out of character. As the investigation deepened, the town was abuzz with rumours. Some said John had enemies, people who envied his success or harboured grudges from past business deals. Others whispered that maybe John had been involved in something shady, and his disappearance was a result of crossing the wrong people. The police launched a full-scale search. They combed through his office, interrogated his employees, and searched his favourite hangouts. His phone was last pinged near an old abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, but when detectives arrived, there was no sign of him, only John's car parked in the lot, its keys still in the ignition. The discovery of the car deepened the mystery. Why would John leave his car in such a secluded spot? What could have drawn him to such a desolate place? Days turned into weeks, and the people of Whitebridge grew restless. The media descended upon the town, turning the once quiet community into a circus of reporters and camera crews. Evelyn made tearful pleas on television, begging for any information about her husband's whereabouts. Then, out of nowhere, a new lead emerged. A construction worker named Carl, who had been working on a nearby highway, came forward with startling information. On the morning of John's disappearance, Carl had seen a black van parked near the warehouse, and two men were standing beside it. One of them seemed to be arguing with someone inside the van. The description of the van's license plate was blurry, but it was enough for the police to track down the vehicle. It belonged to a local contractor named Darren Wills, a man with a criminal record. Darren was brought in for questioning, and under pressure, he finally broke. What Darren revealed was shocking. He confessed that he and a group of hired men had been blackmailing John for months. They had discovered that John wasn't the upstanding businessman everyone believed him to be. Years ago, John had been involved in shady real estate deals, which included laundering money for a criminal syndicate. When John tried to cut ties with them and go legitimate, they demanded a payout to keep quiet. John had been paying them in secret, but it wasn't enough. On the morning of his disappearance, Darren and his men had confronted him, demanding a final large sum of money. When John refused, things turned violent. In a panic, they had abducted him and taken him to the warehouse, but Darren claimed it was never supposed to go that far. "We didn't mean to hurt him," he said during the interrogation, but John fought back and things got out of hand. According to Darren, John had been accidentally killed during the struggle. In a state of shock, the men disposed of his body in the nearby river, hoping that it would never be found. With Darren's confession, the police searched the river for days, and eventually they recovered John's body, waterlogged and damaged beyond recognition. The truth shattered Whitebridge. The town's golden boy had not only been involved in criminal activities, but had met a tragic and violent end. The Mather empire, once a symbol of success, began to crumble under the weight of scandal. Evelyn, heartbroken and betrayed, sold the mansion and left town, unable to face the reality of her husband's secrets. In the end, John Mather's disappearance wasn't just a story of a man vanishing. It was the unraveling of a carefully constructed facade. His downfall showed that even the most powerful can be brought low by their own past. And in the quiet town of Whitebridge, people would never forget how one man's ambition led to his ultimate destruction